There's a building in Midtown Manhattan where the lights never go off. Not because someone forgot, because there is always a 22-year-old on the 41st floor, staring at a spreadsheet at 3 in the morning. The fluorescent lights buzz at a frequency that you stop hearing after the first 80 hours. Downstairs in the lobby, there is marble, Italian, hand-cut. Upstairs, in the corner office on the 48th floor, there is a man who hasn't opened Excel in 15 years. He earns more per lunch meeting than most Americans make in a year. Between those two floors, there are 6 ranks. We're going to print the receipt for a Wall Street career, line by line, dollar by dollar. Let's begin the transaction. Rank 1, Summer Intern. You are 21 years old. You go to Wharton or Harvard or the London School of Economics. You have a 3.9 GPA. You think you are smart. You are a summer analyst at Goldman Sachs. 10 weeks, that's all you get. Your prorated salary is $110,000 a year. For this summer, you take home roughly 20 grand before taxes. You buy a tag heuer with money you haven't earned yet, and dinner for 3 friends at Nobu downtown. And you don't taste it because your jaw is clenched from the effort of looking relaxed. But you are not here for money. You are here for one thing, the return offer. 85% of full-time analyst hires come from the summer program. If you don't convert, you are starting from zero. So you play a game called FaceTime. You cannot leave before your staffer leaves. Her name is Reeves. She has a single framed photo on her desk, a dog, and she's at her desk at midnight every night. So you are at your desk at 12:01. You are not doing work. You are performing presence. You learn the email language in the first week. Plus fix is a command with the urgency of a fire alarm. THX is not gratitude, it's a period. Let's discuss means you made a mistake bad enough to be said out loud. You fetch pitch books from the printer at 2 a.m. The printer jams during every important deliverable. Nobody thanks you. Your contribution to the office is bringing the correct coffee order. Oat latte, no foam, for Reeves. And the one time you get it wrong is the one time she remembers your name. Competence is secondary. Compliance is everything. If you survive 10 weeks without embarrassing yourself, you get the golden ticket. You get to come back next year for the real pay. Rank 2, Analyst. Welcome back. You are now a first-year analyst in investment banking at a bulge bracket firm. Goldman, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. This will be the hardest you work in your entire life. Not the most important work, not the most skilled work, the most hours. Just raw, grinding, stupid hours. Your base salary is $110,000. With your year-end bonus, you make somewhere between $170,000 and $190,000. Now do the math. You work 80 to 100 hours a week, 50 weeks a year. That's roughly $35 an hour. The shift manager at the Shake Shack on 8th Avenue makes $25. He goes home at 11 p.m. He sleeps in the same bed as the person who loves him. You are in the office at 2 a.m., aligning logos in a PowerPoint deck that will be printed on 200 pages of bond paper and handed to a client who will flip through it in 4 minutes and say, "Make the logo bigger." You build 80-page pitch decks full of charts that say whatever the managing director needs them to say. The conclusion was decided before the analysis started. You're just building the alibi. In 2021, 13 Goldman Sachs first-year analysts leaked an internal presentation to the press. 95-hour weeks, 5 hours of sleep, mental health, 2 out of 10. Goldman raised base salaries the next month. The hours didn't change. The hours never change. You gain 15 pounds in your first year, not from eating too much, from eating badly, late, alone. Seamless pad thai at 11 p.m., lukewarm and gummy, eaten standing up because sitting down feels like giving in. You lose your relationship, not in a fight, but in a slow erosion of canceled dinners and texts that say, "Sorry, fire drill," until she stops texting back. Within 2 years, 60 to 70% of your analyst class will quit. The bank doesn't care. There's a fresh class behind you. There's always a fresh class behind you. If you survive 2 years, you either get promoted or you leave for business school. $200,000 for a 2-year networking event with a diploma at the end. Both paths lead to the same door. Rank 3, Associate. You are an associate. You either survive the analyst grinder or you went to business school and paid $200,000 for an MBA that gave you one thing no desk can give. 400 new contacts who will pick up your call for the rest of your life. You now make $250,000 to $400,000 a year. Your life does not get easier. It gets politically harder. The VP above you walks into your office at 5:58 p.m., 2 minutes before you were going to leave for the first time this week before 8, and says, "I need a framework by morning." By morning means by 7 a.m. A framework means a 50-page analysis with 3 scenarios, fully modeled. Let's explore means build it from scratch. You call the analyst, Patel, 23, who is 3 steps from the elevator, and tell him to come back. You hear his silence on the phone. It's the same silence you used to give. You catch a broken circular reference at 11 p.m. If that number, off by $40 million, I've made it to the client. Nobody fires the analyst. They fire you. Here is where you understand how Wall Street actually works. It's not about finding great companies. It's about generating transactions. On a $5 billion merger, the bank earns $25 to $75 million. Your share, 0 directly. You buy an apartment in Tribeca. You see it in daylight on Sundays. Sometimes you're halfway up the ladder. The bottom half was about endurance. The top half is about something else entirely. To go higher, you have to become a politician. And the first thing a politician needs to learn is in this building, every smile is a negotiation. Rank 4, Vice President. At Goldman Sachs, there are over 12,000 vice presidents. The title sounds like power. It is middle management with a better font on the business card. You make $450,000 to $700,000 a year. That sounds like freedom. It is the opposite. It is a trap made of cashmere and school tuition and a mortgage that requires your continued obedience. Private school for your daughter, $60,000 a year. A summer rental in the Hamptons, $40,000 for 2 months, and you use it 3 weekends. A co-op in the West Village with a maintenance fee your 22-year-old self would have thought was a yearly salary. This is the golden handcuffs. You can't afford to leave. You go to bake-offs. You sit across from a CFO and say, "We believe in this story." You don't believe in this story. You believe in the fee. There's a meeting once a quarter behind a door you've never been invited through. The MDs ask one question about each VP. What has this person brought in? If your answer is nothing twice, you are expensive deadweight. Her name is Kim. 2 years ago, you split a cab home and talked about your kids. Now she's competition. Same bonus pool, same promotion slot. One of you will make MD. One of you will leave for what Wall Street calls a soft landing after a hard fall. You learn the language of corporate warfare. Let's circle back means your idea is dead. He's not a culture fit means someone wants him gone. Great visibility on that project means someone took credit for your work. But if you can sell, if you can convince a CEO that his company needs to buy his competitor, then you get something that changes everything. Not money, a title, 2 letters. Rank 5, Managing Director. You are a managing director. In this building, you are a minor deity. Your assistant manages your life with the precision of air traffic control. She knows your dry cleaning schedule, your wife's birthday, your cardiologist's name, and the fact that your right ear has been ringing since 2019 and you haven't told anyone. You make $1 million to $3 million a year, but your guaranteed base is $300,000 to $500,000. The rest is bonus, tied to one number, fee revenue generated, personally, by you. You need to generate 10, 20, 30 million in fees every year. Your number, the one next to your name on the spreadsheet, the CEO reviews in January. If you miss, you're gone in 12 months. We'd like to discuss your transition. Transition, another word that means the opposite of what it sounds like. Underneath the Brioni suit, you are a salesman. You call the CEO of a Fortune 500 company and say, "You should acquire your competitor, because the acquisition generates a $40 million fee, and your share pays for your daughter's school and your ex-wife's apartment. Your life is airplanes, London on Monday, Tokyo on Wednesday, Dubai on Friday. Your blood pressure hasn't been under 140 in 2 years. Your cardiologist has said the word stent out loud. You nodded. You didn't change anything. Your daughter graduated from Exeter last June. You were in Singapore. Your ex-wife sent you a video. You watched it in the back of a car on the way to Changi Airport. Your daughter didn't mention you in her speech. Not as an insult. You just weren't relevant enough to the story of her life to be included. But there's a moment. 9:42 p.m. on a Thursday. 3 words. The deal closed. And for 3 seconds, maybe 4, you feel something that isn't anxiety. Something that might be joy, if you could still recognize it. Rank 6. Partner. You are a partner at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs has approximately 400 partners out of 45,000 employees, less than 1%. To get here, you survived 20-plus years of a process designed to find the last person standing. David Solomon earned $31 million in 2023. Jamie Dimon earned $36 million, most of it in stock. If the bank drops 20% in a quarter, your net worth drops by $6 to $8 million while you eat breakfast. You don't work for money anymore. What you work for is harder to name. Legacy, influence. 3 of the last 8 Treasury secretaries were former Goldman partners. The revolving door doesn't just swing, it spins. You have what people call "fuck you" money. Here's the irony. You can never say it. Every sentence is reviewed by a PR team. Every dinner is strategic. Every friendship is an alliance. It is 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're in the back of a black car on the FDR Drive. Miguel, who has driven you for 9 years, takes the exit toward the apartment. Your phone is dark. For once, nobody needs anything. You look out the window. Somewhere on the 41st floor, there is a 22-year-old staring at a spreadsheet. He thinks if he stays long enough and never complains, he'll end up where you are. 99% won't, but the possibility is what makes the machine work. Miguel pulls up to your building. He says goodnight. He's the only person today who was happy to see you. The total. Let's read the bill. Total years on the ladder, 25 to 40. Total compensation, $15 million to $200 million. Total hours worked, 120,000. Almost 14 years of non-stop 24-hour days. Marriages, 2.3. The first one ends around the VP years, quietly. The second one costs more, because by then you have assets worth protecting. Body, 15 to 25 pounds gained. Chronic lower back pain. Blood pressure elevated by your mid-40s. At least one cardiac event before 60. Your doctor has used the word stress so many times it has stopped meaning anything. Here's the number that never appears on any Goldman Sachs recruiting slide. The median American will earn $2.7 million in their entire working life. 40 years. Every paycheck. Every raise. A Goldman Sachs partner earns that in a single year before stock appreciation. Was it worth it? The intern says yes. Ask him again in 20 years. The partner isn't sure anymore, but he'll never say that out loud, because admitting it wasn't worth it means admitting what he lost, and what he lost can't be recovered at any price. Transaction complete, no refunds. That was Wall Street. Next time we print the receipt for an industry that burns 100 million barrels every single day. Subscribe. We print the receipt for every industry they don't want you to understand.